Hey, Donald Miller, Donald Miller's Electrical Services. So I'm going to respond to a comment, and I really wasn't planning on making a video, but I think it's pretty important. All right, so Barrel Gut 673. Hey, Donald, I made the mistake of going to trade school. It's been almost 3 months now, and I am not in the field. My classmates, sans one dude, are still working their previous jobs. The school that promised us positions just suggests city work, and my morale for this field is almost non-existent. My teacher barely taught us, and the few stuff I do remember is from curiously browsing YouTube and the NEC. I know it's not over, but I regret this. All right, yeah, Barrel. So, yeah, some trade schools suck, and they're a trade school is a business, and they're going to push sales, so you have to be careful what trade school you go to. But I am a fan of trade school for the guys that want to make the electrical trade their career. All right, it does not benefit them in the short term. It might get their foot in the door in a job, but as far as pay is concerned, you're not going to make that much more coming out of trade school. The knowledge that the trade school gives you is for the long term, and it'll benefit you tenfold over your career. So the knowledge trade school gives you and what they're teaching you is understanding what electric is doing and why you have to take the actions you have to take. And the more you understand that, the better you're going to be at troubleshooting, the better you're going to be at estimating, the better you're going to be at load calculations, the better you're going to be later on in the field. In the short term, everyone starts on the bottom rung, regardless of how educated you are, regardless if your dad owns the electrical business. It does not matter. Everyone has to learn on the bottom rung, ground up, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. The ones that understand this and they go step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they learn the trade correctly, they're the ones that will, I don't want to just say make money, but they'll enjoy their career and they'll be compensated tenfold compared to the guys that are skipping around for an extra couple dollars an hour, the guys that are doing side work and they don't realize how bad side work actually damages their full-time job. Okay, side work is okay sometimes, and oftentimes people do side work and it actually damages their career. Okay, if you can't show up on Monday because you can't complete your side work over the weekend, so you call out, you're damaging your career. It doesn't look good for your character. And if you view your full-time job as your primary source and then you do side work for extra money, it usually damages your primary source of income. It prevents raises, it prevents responsibilities. Okay, and as an employer, I see guys damage their career because they think that side money's so nice. Okay, oftentimes, especially in the beginning of the trade, you're trying to make more money and you're trying to figure out how to do it. The best thing that you can do is learn the best practices of the trade and excel at your primary job. Excel at it. Be the best mechanic you can be. Learn the trade. Learn how to be a really competent, decent electrician, and the trade will take care of you. I've never seen the trade not take care of someone. All right, the guys that are committed, they're on time every day, they're in a good spirit, and they know how to do their job. I've never seen someone not excel. Okay, the ones that I see not excel are the ones that are doing side work on the weekends, and in their day job, they're tired, they don't have time for it, they're in a bad attitude, and their primary source of income is where all the contacts are. It's where all the opportunities are. It's where all the people that you want to meet is on your primary source of income. Okay, the side work income, oftentimes you meet guys that are low bidders. There's a reason they're hiring side work and they're not hiring a licensed electrician. So you're meeting not exactly the most savory, not exactly the best people of the trade. And then you have to deal with it. Okay, you have to deal with not getting paid. You have to deal with chasing money. Like, side work is a really big problem for guys not excelling in their primary income source. Okay, so again, like, your friends might be going out there and making money, but in the long run, the person that goes to trade school and understands the trade and then gets in with a decent company regardless of pay that teaches them the trade correctly, in their 30s and the 40s, they're going to be making 2 to 3 times the amount as their friends, because the person went to trade school. They were trained by the correct people. And this pay scales in the electrical trade on the non-union side are vast. Okay, I've seen mechanics, or so-called mechanics, make anywhere from $20 an hour over $100 an hour. That's how great the pay scale can be. And it all comes down to how you were taught the trade, who taught you the trade, and how you conduct yourself in the eyes of the trade. That's simple. Okay, you can't talk your way out of it. You can't put on a good show. This trade is amazing because it cuts through all the fat. Okay, the only person these guys are fooling are themselves. All right, the ones that are committed to the trade and are giving it their all and are competent and they know the lifestyle of a tradesman and they live it. The trade has a way of taking care of each other that way, and we make sure. I've always been taken care of, regardless of who I worked for. When they got to see my work ethic, they see my product, and they see what I can do in a 40-hour work week. They see the value that I bring. Okay, and I was compensated for that value, and that's what people are people aren't listening to the jabberjaw. Okay, your friends listen to jabberjaw. Okay, the trade is paying attention to what product you are, what type of character you are, what are you bringing to the table, not your lip service, but physically on a job in a 40-hour work week. What are you accomplishing? How are you talking to people? How are you communicating? What ethics do you have? What morals do you have? And at the end of that 40-hour work week, that is the value that you bring. And if you can put together a really decent 40-hour work week with everything that you do, you become very valuable. And then you add in everything you learned from trade school over time, okay? It makes you priceless. You can kind of pave your way and go wherever you want to go. So don't give up on trade school just because there's a couple bad ones out there. Trade school for the career electrician is priceless. You can really get into the top 5% by applying yourself correctly. So, and I warn people about this all the time. If you're young in this trade, don't be searching for money. That's a foolish game. Okay? You should be looking for education, experience, and who's going to be training you. Okay? Yes, it sucks. I understand I just told someone applied for a job 3 months ago. He had a kid, and he's just trying to get as much money per hour as possible. He's fresh out of trade school, and I'm like, you need to go for experience right now. I understand you have children and you have a life, but experience is more valuable than money. Okay, you need to find valuable experience, and this is what I normally recommend: do a year in new construction. It will teach you speed. It will teach you rhythms. It will teach you. It'll be a good foothold in the trade. And I usually recommend new construction for entry level. Then get out and do alterations, okay, or commercial fit outs, okay. You want experience in the beginning, okay, and that experience compiled with your trade school education will make you a rock star within 4 or 5 years. Not immediately, okay, and stop looking for short-term gains. If this is a career, you got to look for the long term, okay. You want to see where you're going to be set up in 10 years. How are you going to be set up in 15 years? This trade is a long trade. You might be in the field for 40 years. Don't ruin 40 years because you want to make an extra $1 to an hour in the beginning. All right, you got to think of the long game. God bless. Enjoy yourselves out there today.